All right, let's get into the overlays of projection, the rapture, the days we're in now, and try and put these into a perspective that you can understand, because there's been a foundation laid, there's been some bricks made and bricks stacked up, and we have a new heaven and earth that is about to turn on while the old one turns off. And while this old one turns off, that's when the box is wrapped in, and we got the black box showing as that American eagle has hit the helicopter, and the dragon is coming in for a landing as the snake is going to pop up out of the box. And Trump warned you of the snake 3 times when he read you that poem. So let's break these things down, because the tariffs are tied to some earthquakes and earthquakes that's going to be taking part on our nation. And the Mexico, the Mishi Ping, and all that kind of stuff is going to be tying into China and the ports, and the Wandufuka on another flip side, and these other types of things, okay? Because Juan is the name for John, and it's Don John Trump, and he's serving up the Wandufuka plate, and that is the FU, and the FU Cali and all that kind of stuff, and that's what's going on with the water rights now, and the birth rights, and so there's different things going on here, because there is a man named Harry who holds some royal flush cards in a way, and he is tied to the whales over there in the Sussex, and then we have the SpaceX and all those little overlays. Okay, so we can see a whale projecting some of that humpback spray going up in the water over there, and the China has the DeepSeek logo of a whale, and this is the AI, and you're like looking at Moby Dick, all right? But I don't mean to be so vulgar, but this is just the way it is, because you're going to have some glory holes and comeback kids and stuff coming up, and I'm just trying to prepare you, because these are going to be some dividing lines, and we have a natural man that comes of age, okay? And then we have a unnatural man that tries to fight everything about the 6-pointed star. And the 6-pointed star is your 5 senses, with the 6th, the spirit. And that star, that light, is inside all men, and that's why they want to take this light out here and, well, this is which way you should go: north, south, east, or west. They want to keep you going, and if you keep going, you end up at the same spot, and you just live in a circle in your whole life, doing the same shit over and over and over again. It's just a downward spiral. That's what you live in. And now you're at the end of that downward spiral as the sands of time are all gathered up, but y'all don't realize that you live in a 2-sided world per se, and China is on the other side where things are upside down, they teach you. So when China comes in and takes control, they're going to flip the world upside down in a matter of speaking. And that's what's going to be going on with these tariffs. And the tariffs are the quakes. It's going to shake up the whole foundation of the world. Okay? So the tariffs connects us to the terrorist, that the doc made a deal with the terrorists and went back on the deal, and the empty casings instead of the pinball parts. Okay, so this is where they sent the empty casings. That's your empty cargo. You ain't got no shipments or whatever. All right, we don't have to send anything. We're just going to stop using your system. So this is where dawn of time is coming in to implement the rod of iron to break the clay. And this also connects to the body parts, to where the gate is open on this creation. We got this day 5 with the wells, that we can clearly see that every living creature that moveth, the moveth is part of that believer, but which the waters brought forth abundantly. First is telling you all the animals came from the water. Okay? Second, the water's tied to the currency. And this Genesis 1, with the waters here, we can see this projected into the times of Noah when the flood waters came. So we can see one creation. You can see one creation here leading to this time span here. This time span here. There's a whole new earth, a whole new heaven and earth after the ark. And then you have a whole new heaven and earth after the time of Jesus and those types of frames. If you want to go deeper into it, you can say after Babylon and the fall of Babylon and those time frames, because that was a gathering of the time worldwide. But so all these different world empires and such, just like we have now, the petrodollar, that old, the global empire that's being taken out, we're switching that. The dollar is staying. We're just getting rid of the petro backing. We got rid of the gold backing long ago. Then that was the same thing that we're going through. This is like, no other time. It's no other time like this. Okay? So it's an amazing time. You just have to maze through this matrix, and you know the times that we are in and know how to flip-flop shit or whatever. So that's where the rations were in the 70s, I believe, where you could only buy meat on Sunday or whatever. Or I'm sorry, you couldn't buy meat on Sunday. This could be the flip-flop where that's the only day you can buy meat. Okay? Or you got to have your apps to, it says federal places, but that federal, the Fed ER and all those things, the Fed ER real, that's when you need your birthright citizenship or your real ID and all those things or whatever. So there's different plays being played on for the birthright citizenship and the ICE or whatever. This is pulling out like that American Nazism stuff, all right? And then that's where it's going to be gathered up, and where like Texas Hold'em or whatever is going on. And also we have a lady that's being shown saying, oh, the January 6 people, they can come and live here, and it's in Texas. That's part of the Texas Hold'em. And she's got like 300 square feet for them or whatever. She's building houses for them, like a little commune or whatever. Either way, this is also tied to the Six Flags over Texas. Also the fig skaters, the figure skaters, that's the fig harvest on one side, but that's also the gift that's being given with a black box and the thing that's about to be unwrapped for y'all for this month, that's going to take you into March Madness and April Fools and what are the other ones? Mother's Day and Father's Day and Born on the 4th of July. And this is the time frames. It's 25 and 9/11, compounded time for the Christmas spirits and all that good stuff. The figure skaters, the spiritual fruit, these gates of heaven, day 1, day 5, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, the coming of the Lord, heaven inside you, Jesus returns. All these things are going to happen within us. And this is where we get inhale, exhale to a certain point. And if you haven't risen above these points of light into so-called day 7, where the Lord of Lords is within you and is risen in that light of you, because it tells you that your Lord is killed in Sodom. And Sodom was killed for the grievous sin. So this is where you're grieving America. You're going to go die for your nation. All these different things, or you've done this. It's all these little things that's pulled in. And then the birthright, citizenship, and all this stuff is coming. And you got to realize that, oh man, the one way to fix whatever they don't like or whatever, you have to use the AI and the tracking or whatever, because that's part of the problem is this paper system, and anybody can use these, make copies or go kill anybody and take their papers or whatever's going on with these people, okay? But just because they hand you a document, it can be a fake ID or whatever. I mean, you see this all the time in the nightclubs or whatever. These college kids, 18 to 21, that's a huge business, is fake IDs. But You can just use anybody's social security number. Anybody can say that they have a degree or whatever kind of thing. There's no way to verify any of these things that's going on. All right. So as there's different days or whatever here, and the Lord of Lords is returning in all people, but that Lord out here, you're playing live chess, and you're in a game basically, but you don't know you're in a game. So this dude is using you instead of you being a king, queen, pawn, or king, queen, bishop, castle, or rook. You are a pawn, all right, and you're just the extra that is just filled at the end of the credits, just hundreds of names or whatever that nobody sits back and reads or whatever. They're at the end. So it's that kinds of stuff. So if you're not, depending where you're at on the spectrum and where you're at on the chakras in the body, okay, the neck is the cutoff point, and you're in February is when the necklace is hung in the sky. So this is like a cutoff point. As far as an alignment and the stacks on heaven and the so-called rapture, that's the seventh heaven or seventh world of Buddha. It's not in the Bible, but it's of the Buddha or the Buddha. And the Buddha is tied to the butler and the Elon and those things, but also the Buddha is tied to the Potomac and the Potiphar with the Harry, and the Potiphar for Kamala and Cali Green and money growing on trees and those types of things that we can be seeing, because cannabis is here to heal the nation, and there's ways that cannabis is being grown right now that's not necessarily that great, but that's a whole nother video. So we're at a time now where the foundation is laid, the bricks are stacked, the houses are made in a way. There's new digital world coming, real estate, all these things are set up in different ways, and it's just here to turn on. So as this digital overlay is put before us, it's needed to get us into a new way. Okay, so this is where the people are stuck. If they haven't gone into the new time frame, as far as the mind, body, or spirit, they're stuck back there forever. Okay, and that's where you have the so-called beastmen, where they have to be taken in one way, shape, or form, and remolded. So this is where the AI can be used for the treatment of these things. Okay, so as it's used for the treatment of these things, and everything has been brought up to this like pinnacle to where the AI can see everything, and this is where everything's been just run amok to test, where we can't sue them or whatever. The sewing for the seams and the seamstress. But as all these things are laying out, the test is finished, the information is gathered, so now it can be applied, and now the RNA has been taken out. The RNA can be reformed and reconfigured, and they can reprogram the DNA and reprogram the mound the way it needs to be done. Okay, but those who can't see or can't hear or whatever kind of thing are going to just be disposed of as the lab rats are taken out to the trash, and the pick through process of seeing which ones are able to make it through and whatever, those go to the new rack, to the new heaven and earth. And that way, and they're going to be taken care of by the AI, and the AI in the brain is going to be given back to you in a way as the EIEIO, the old MacDonald Had a Farm, is burned down, and then you're taken into a nice brick house and those types of things. So also the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, you rise up above it on a map, the topography and the coloring or whatever, it looks like a whale. All right, so I pointed out that a long time ago, but that's part of the Gona and the well, and the Gona is tied to the Go and the China and all those things is coming upon you. But either way, different days. We're stacked in the dawn of time. The dawn, he's got a nice glow. He's shining bright with Mercury. Get ready for the sizzles. And Mars and Venus, that's kind of Elon's forte. So